Welcome back. So today's video is a favorites video. I'm sharing with you everything that I have been loving recently. It is a mix. It's mostly more wardrobe favorites, so things I have been loving wearing, from clothing to accessories. I am also going to be doing a mini review of my Saint Laurent shoulder bag because I have been getting some questions on that too. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and let's get started. So kicking things off with a gorgeous bag favorite. I have been loving my Dior book tote so much this winter. I've got to say, I did get the smaller size, so the medium size one, a few months ago. I really haven't gotten a lot of use out of that one, but I'm anticipating that I'm going to use it a little bit more when it does get a little bit warmer. So the larger one has still been a firm favourite for me. I've been using this for everything from everyday right through to using it as an overnight bag. Dan and I did a little kind of one night staycation at a spa hotel, and I actually used this as my overnight bag. And it did so well. Like, it's not the biggest thing for overnight, so I don't think I would use it for 2 nights. But for one night where all I really needed was my toiletries, a nice dress, and then a few bits and pieces for the next day, it was absolutely perfect. And that's even with a big old bag liner in there as well. I'm really happy because obviously it's a really expensive one, but I did have my reservations about the size because it's kind of one of those awkward in between ones where it could have gone either way. Like, it is quite large, and I guess for some people it might be a bit too large for every day, but actually when I do need a daily bag where I fit a ton of stuff in, this is what I gravitate towards. Similarly, if I just wanted a one night bag, this is absolutely perfect, and I just think it's great. Not to mention the fact that it's also just so beautiful. Like, I get so much joy out of using it because I think it's so stunning. Like, it makes me excited every time I use it. And I just think it's so gorgeous. So very happy with this one. I do think the print helps as well because, yeah, I just fall in love with it over again every time I look at it. But so far this has been a big win for me. I know so many people have been asking me for a comparison between the two sizes. I just haven't gotten enough use out of the medium sized one yet, but I'm hoping when the weather does warm up, I do use that one a bit more. So as soon as I do get a better feel for that one, I will do a comparison, but so far I've still been absolutely loving my large size. Next up is a storage solution. I mentioned in a previous video, I spent a lot of my January just decluttering and organizing, and I did get a couple of new storage solutions. I specifically wanted one for jewelry because I've just gotten a lot of new jewelry pieces over the past couple of years, and I really feel like I've outgrown my existing storage, which was just made up of random jewelry stands I got from various different stores. So I was on the lookout for something a bit more substantial. I saw this and I just thought it was so perfect. It's from Stackers and it's just the best thing ever. It's very substantial though, so it's really quite heavy. It currently sits in my main kind of closet room on the windowsill, and I just absolutely adore it. Like, it just feels so fancy. It's also very easy to see everything because it has a glass top, and then it just slides open like that. The kind of top area is what I use most. To be honest, the bottom area isn't very full at all, so I do have a lot of room to grow into it, but that's exactly what I wanted. I didn't want something that was so full to the brim that if I did get another piece and I have to get a whole new solution, like, I feel like this is definitely going to grow with me. And it's made storing my jewelry just so much easier. It's a breeze to find everything. I actually like putting things back now because I feel like it's so organized, it's so easy to use, easy to see things. And it's just been the best thing. I do still have my other jewelry stands as well for necklaces because I do feel like this is slightly better for, I have like my watch in here, my rings, my earrings, that sort of thing, but combined, I just feel like it's 100 times better than what I had before. So if you're in the market for a good jewelry organizer, I would definitely recommend checking out this one. I've been so happy with it. And then speaking of jewelry favorites, I did want to mention a pair of earrings that I've just not been able to get enough of. I did show these in a haul a little while ago, but these have just pretty much not left my ears. I was after a pair of kind of chunkier gold studs, saw these beautiful or kind of Charlotte inspired ones, and I loved them, got them, and they were just instantly what what I was looking for. But for me, when it comes to slightly more chunky jewelry, the proof is in the pudding in terms of I don't always wear the items even if I like them. These have been a different story because I feel like they are the perfect combination of both statement making whilst also being so wearable that they literally go with everything. Like if you want to dress them up, they look perfect. If you want to just wear them with some jeans and sneakers, they just add a little bit of luxe without looking too over the top. And they are my favorite things. I also got a little pair of chunky hoops, which I've also been wearing a lot, but to be honest, I wear these more because they're just so great. They go with everything. They're very comfortable to wear as well, so they're not too heavy. They're not gonna weigh your ears down. And I just think these are fantastic. So if you're like me, not always the best with statement jewelry, these are just like the perfect compromise. So cute, so wearable, and I've just not been able to stop wearing them. Next up is a new top discovery, and this is what I've been wearing probably about 50% of the time since I got these, which is not an exaggeration. Like any time that you see me, there is like a 50-50 chance that I will be wearing one of these because they're so great. So they're from Lululemon. They're their License to Train kind of fabric and line. I think this was originally a menswear line, which is how I discovered them because Dan tried, I think it was like their hoodie top, and he became obsessed. I don't even know how many he has now. I get them for him for birthday, for Christmas. They are very soft, so comfortable, incredibly flattering as well. Like as soon as he put it on, like I think it was just after a little period of time where he hadn't been working out, and he was like, oh my god, it's making me look like I go to the gym every day. Like they really are good. So if you're looking for a gift for a guy in your life, I'd recommend. But I just love the fabric on his so much. Saw that they did a woman's version and I had to give them a try, and now I'm equally hooked. Like it's just all we wear on a daily basis. So they do a short sleeve version as well. I have one short sleeve version, but most of mine are long sleeve. And it's a really simple crew neck. So it's a long sleeve and then it just kind of drapes down, has a curved hem at the back, but apart from that, like it's really simple. It's nothing too fancy. But the fabric is the most incredible fabric I've ever felt. Like it's very silky and soft. It just kind of skims rather than clings as well. So it is incredibly flattering. And they also wash like a dream. Like I have never had to iron one of these because as long as you hang them dry, they just seem to like snap back in shape. We wash these countless times because we wear them so much and they're just wonderful. So I've been hooked. I'm embarrassed to say how many of these I own now, but I basically, anytime they have new color, I get it. So I have the light colored one, which is kind of like an ivory. I have the pink, I have the blue, I have the gray. It's all I wear. And whenever I put on another top now, I get a bit sad that it's not one of these because they are so gorgeous to wear. You can also sleep in them. Like that's how comfortable they are. Probably a bit fancy and expensive to sleep in, but I love these. Would highly recommend if you're looking for a new sportswear top or just something to wear every day around the house, which is what I use them for. I just think they are the best things. Next up is a candle favorite, and this is a bit of a rare one because I don't love every single scent. So the candles and the fragrances that I use are ones that I've had for just years and years. This is the first time that I've smelt a new fragrance that I really love and that I'm happy to have in my home. So this is from Jo Loves, which is, it's the new brand from the founder of Jo Malone. She left Jo Malone and then she set up this company, which is Jo Loves. And they do the nicest fragrances. So this one is called a shot candle, which I believe is two fragrances mixed together to create, I guess, more of like a complex fragrance. So you choose your base and then you choose your kind of topper, I guess, and they blend it together. And it's so nice. So the one I went for is the Gardenia fragrance base, and then the topper, and I'm not gonna say this right, it's the Frangipan. I'm definitely saying that wrong. If you know, let me know. But the combination is absolutely gorgeous. It just fills the room. They're really fragrant as well. You don't need to burn it for long. So if you just wanted to burn it for half an hour and then blow it out, the scent really does linger. And I've just been absolutely hooked on this. It's so nice. It makes the room just smell incredible. Like Gardenia is such a beautiful fragrance anyway. I absolutely love it, and this has just been my new obsession. It is the nicest thing and it's such a cool idea for a fragrance, and yeah, just totally been hooked on this. Next up are a couple of clothing favorites. These are both from Me and Em, who is a brand that I discovered last year, and I've just been so in love with so many of their pieces. I find them to be very good quality, and they do just last really well. They're very classic in their design as well, and I've just been so thrilled. They're not the cheapest, I would say that, but I do feel like the quality does match up to the price, which isn't always the case these days, but I have just been adoring these two pieces in particular. So the first one is this sweater. I now own this in two colors, so I have the dark gray as well. So this one is a snood one, so it actually comes with a separate little kind of snood neck thing, so you can pop it on and it makes it look like a roll neck sweater, which is so clever. If you want to take it off and just wear it as a crew neck, you can do that as well. I love this side. I have a few sweaters with that kind of design element now, and it's just so great. You get so much more bang for your money, and it's just fantastic. This is also just the perfect cream sweater. Like, it's a little bit cropped, but not too much. It's a really beautiful cream as well. It's not too yellow, it's not too white. The perfect neutral, goes with everything, and I've not been able to stop wearing it. If you watch any of my clothing videos over the past 3 months, I'd say, you will probably have seen me wear this because it's just such a useful base, such a useful neutral, and I've just been loving it so much. And then the other piece I've been loving from them is this great little mini skirt, and I'm not usually much of a mini skirt kind of girl, but this has been so great. It's so easy to style. I feel like it just looks so good with so many different items. I've been loving this with flat boots. You can obviously wear it with plain heels and flats as well, but I've mostly been wearing it with boots, whether that is a high heel one or a flat one. I just think it's so great. It is a boucle one as well, so it has a nice bit of texture just to add a little bit of interest to your outfit. Fits like a dream, very comfortable. It's fully lined as well, and because it is just a simple black style, I feel like it goes with absolutely everything, and I've just been totally hooked on this. Very happy with the addition to my wardrobe. It's not too flashy or anything, but just one of those pieces which is so incredibly useful and really easy to dress up or down, and it's just been a complete win for my wardrobe. And then kind of linking in with that purchase, I wanted to mention a pair of tights that I've been loving so much. And tights for me aren't usually something that is particularly exciting. You know, I'm usually, strictly speaking, a M&S multi-pack kind of girl, mainly because I have a horrible history of laddering and breaking tights, and so I just learned not to spend much money on them because they just don't last for me. These are the exception, and I've been wanting to try these for so long, but I was always kind of a bit dubious because of the price and because of my dodgy history with tights, but a friend of mine recommended these and she was like, Amy, you won't be able to break them. They are genuinely worth the money. So I decided to take the plunge and get a pair. And oh my goodness, she was right. Like, they are so good. Like, for one, they have a fantastic control top, so they really smooth you out. You don't get any lumps or bumps or anything like that. And the tights are pretty much unbreakable, at least for me, and I am not gentle on my tights. I'm not particularly elegant when putting them on. Like, I always have a lot of issues with getting them on and making sure they're not ripping and breaking. These are just so great. They're so sturdy, and I've just been so impressed with them. So much so that as soon as I wore my pair for the first time, I went online and I ordered a bunch more because they are that good. They come in a bunch of different opacity levels, so if you want kind of fully black, if you want, you know, semi-sheer, they do a whole variety of them. I got a few different types. They also do patterned ones as well, but they are so good. They're also very sustainable as well, which I really like. But they've just been the best thing. So if you wanted to invest in some really high quality tights, I would highly recommend. Definitely worth a splurge. I've just been so happy with them, and I just can't go back. Like, I've cleared out all my M&S ones. Like, these are the only ones that I want to wear now. Next up are two pairs of flats I have been loving. I have been pretty much living in flats because Leo is not only walking but running now, and he's so fast and he's such a handful that I need to be able to run at any given time. So I have very much been in flats, and the sneakers that I have been wearing and loving are my Vail ones. Nothing new. I feel like everyone already has these, but they are so great. Mine are the Campo ones. So these are the ones with a little bit more of a platform. I find them so comfortable. I do size down in mine. I did just get a black pair as well, but these are just the best things. They go with everything. I feel like they're fairly smart when it comes to a sneaker as well, so I'm happy to wear these with jeans, with trousers. You can team them with midi skirts as well if you wanted to. Like, they really do seem to go with everything, and I just don't feel like you can do better. I know there are so many expensive versions now. I have some Golden Goose ones too, but to be honest, I don't wear those. Like, for me, the Vail ones are absolutely my favorites. I just can't get enough of this shoe. And then the other pair of flats I've been loving are this fantastic two-tone pair, very Chanel inspired, but I just love the look, and they are so comfortable as well. So they have a beige body all the way around. They have a black pointed cap toe right there, and they are so bendy, so flexible. These are from Vivaya, and if you tried their shoes, like, you'll know how comfortable they are, but I can last all day in them. They don't slip off my feet, and I just love them. They're very, very breathable as well, very sustainable too, and they just kind of tick every box. I just think the look of them is so gorgeous. They go with everything. They look so great with jeans, so great with trousers, pants, skirts, dresses. Like, they just seem to go with absolutely everything. And 9 times out of 10, if I'm grabbing this kind of flat, this is what I'm going for. I have just been loving them so, so much. And then finally, I do have my Saint Laurent shoulder bag, and I did not realize this was called the Supple bag. Someone asked me about it in a comment, and I was like, I don't own the Supple bag. I didn't realize this is what it was called. I've just been calling it the, I'm not sure if we're using the French or the English, either the 5 set or the 5 to 7 bag, but to be honest, I just call it my shoulder bag. I've had this for 4 months, 5 months, something like that. So it's been a decent amount of time. It's my everyday kind of bag and tote at the moment, so I don't have another larger tote that I'm using. This is what I'm using if I want something larger. It's my kind of grab and go style. I have a lot of thoughts on it. It's kind of a mixed bag because there are a lot of elements that I really, really love about it. Some things I don't love as well. Overall, I would say it definitely leans towards positive, but yeah, I do have some like minor niggles. So this is classified as the large size. They have a smaller size as well, but they also have an extra large size, which is very, very big. I did try that one on, but it was absolutely huge. So I think I made the right call in terms of my preference and my frame. I don't feel like this one looks too huge, but at the same time, it's plenty roomy enough for everything that I might want to carry. It's very, very comfortable as well because you do have that really nice thicker shoulder strap. My one niggle, and I feel like this is the case with every single hobo style, so it's not particular to this, but it does kind of collapse in on itself. It's currently fastened like that, but the kind of slouchiness of it, it's not the neatest looking bag in the world, I would say that, and that is the kind of design and structure, but obviously when they photograph it online, they have it completely stood up so it looks very like neat and uniform, whereas that is not the reality of it when you use it. Like, it instantly flops in. You might be able to use a bag organizer to correct that, but I don't think that you're going to be able to correct the fact that because this has a little bit of weight to it, because it is the hardware, this will always kind of flop in, and I think you will always have the top bit of the other side flop in as well. So that is just an element of the bag. I'd also say because of that, it's not so easy to have that little hook right there. So when I am using this out and about, I tend just to kind of leave it floppy. And again, that kind of adds to the slightly less neat look. Obviously, that's just a consequence of how I wear it, but in terms of practicality, it is just so much easier just kind of leave it loose like that. On the inside, it has all my junk in at the moment, but it is very, very roomy, and you do get a lot of leather without it feeling overly heavy. So it's actually very light to use, very, very comfortable. You have just the one pocket right there, but the pocket isn't actually sewn to the back. So because it's like loose, you do get an additional kind of pocket capacity right there at the back, which I actually think is really clever and I do really, really like. It's just a raw interior. There's no other organization. So if you do like compartments, then you probably will have to use an organizer. But for me, I kind of like it like that. I'd rather have the wide open space, particularly if you did want to use this to, you know, carry your laptop as a general work bag. I do think it would work very nicely. So I do have my laptop right here. Mine is a 13-inch MacBook Pro, and it does fit very nicely. It comes right to the top though, so you don't have a lot of excess height. But for me, I would be happy to use it like this. Like, it wouldn't bother me at all. I don't need to carry my laptop around when I use this bag, so I haven't used it for that, but that is definitely an option if you wanted to. One thing I would say though that I actually really enjoy, and it's not something I would have thought about before getting this bag, but I like the fact that even though it is a very luxurious bag and, you know, it's not particularly subtle with the YSL, it still feels very under the radar. And if you do live in a city area or anywhere that you're more conscious of your luxury goods, you don't always want to be super flashy, it's so easy just to tuck that in. And then it just looks like a very simple, unassuming black bag, which just isn't going to grab a lot of attention. And I love that option. Like, it's so useful. And when I first started wearing it, I was like, oh, this feels way more under the radar, but I like the fact that I still know that I'm carrying a beautiful quality, really luxurious bag. And if you did want the YSL showing, you know, it's an easy fix just like that. So for me, that is a huge plus point. I think it'd be even more so if you did live in a city, you know, where you were conscious of certain areas. This is so great. I haven't really been enjoying it. Definitely more slouchy than I thought it would be. Definitely less neat looking in general, but in terms of actual functionality and what I need it for, it's been working out great. It goes with pretty much everything. You know, it's obviously just a pretty simple black hobo bag, but I've really been liking it. They come in a whole bunch of really pretty colors. It is expensive. I'm going to monitor how it wears over time before I make kind of my final judgment as to whether I think it's worth the money, because it was a lot of money. You're not getting too many bells or whistles. It's a pretty simple design. But for me, if you wanted something that had this kind of silhouette, you're happy with the slouchiness, I do think this is a really nice option, and I've really been enjoying mine. And it hasn't been a kind of switch out one, like since I've started using it, I've only been using this as my everyday bag. So far, so good, with a few caveats, but I have been enjoying it overall. So that wraps up this video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. As usual, I'll pop links to everything in the description section. Any questions, then leave me a comment. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.